Well, it finally happened to me. I broached the boat, where I capsized or got knocked over. I'll describe it and you decide what happened. So I was sailing down the western side of Kelvin Island. I put out from Mountain Island this morning. Wind was 10 to 15. I checked it out with my little wind speed thing, gusting to 20. So I threw a reef in and had a nice close haul all the way down. Wind built up a bit more, so I threw in a second reef, and I got all the way down to the end of Kelvin on the west hand side, and the wind had started getting a little bit overpowering. So there's a cove there, so I decided I was going to tuck in there, anchor, kind of take a bit of a moment, grab a little bit of lunch, throw in, rig up for the second reef, or excuse me, the third reef, and head out again. So I did all of that, got going, 2 reefs in, poked my nose around the corner of the point, and the wind was pretty strong, so I thought, I'm going to go back in and put in my third reef. So I'm ducking back into the cove and trying to get the boat to stop. So I let out the sail, tried to get the boat to stop, and then it kept on wanting to round up and stuff, so I fussed around with it for a little while. But finally got it where it's just about stopped, sail is out, getting the rudder set up, and I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I think the wind shifted, and the sail went all the way out and was pointing, you know, almost all the way up to one of the port or starboard bow. I can't remember if it went right or left. And the boat went over to starboard. I'm up on my port side, see the boat going over, water starts pouring over the coaming, I start sliding down, thinking, okay, here we go, full capsize. And I started thinking, okay, what am I going to have to do? And fortunately, the boat popped back up. Obviously, I don't think I was all the way over 90 degrees. Who knows what the degree was. When I got back up, there was water all the way up to probably about 5 inches above my floors. Not the footwell, but the floors here. So it was pretty full of water. So quickly thinking, okay, what do I do? And the first thing I was thinking, okay, I got to bail out the water. But the wind was just kind of doing funky things. So I decided, okay, I'm going to drop the sail. So at least that is out of the way. So I drop the sail, start bailing out the water. I've got a lee shore probably, I don't know, 100 yards off to my port, something like that. So I'm bailing, kind of watching, thinking I want to get back up into the cove, anchor, and get all sorted out. And watching, and I'm drifting down, seeing if I can steer. Can't do that, so I get out a paddle. So I couldn't get the oars rigged up in time. So I'm kind of paddling along, bailing out, paddling along, bailing out, and I'm drifting down towards the lee shore. So when I got about, I don't know, 50 yards off, I'm guessing, I decided I'm going to throw the anchor out, which I did. It caught, hooked that up, and took a moment and thought, all right, I'm all right. So I finished bailing out, double checked, make sure everything was okay. It was. I had lost one of my little seat cushions over the side, but that's about it that I've lost. So then I decided, okay, I don't want to stay in the little bay that I was in because it's just not protected. It was okay with prevailing winds, but if the wind shifted around, it would be a bad place to be. So I rigged up the third reef in the main, Got everything sorted out, and then decided, okay, I'm gonna go poke my head around the corner again to see, can I continue, because it was the swirling wind that did the knockdown, because there's a couple of anchorages further up the coast there. So I poke my nose around, wind's blowing, need the third reef, but I'm doing okay. And a few minutes later, I'm out there, and the waves are building and building and building, and as I get further out off the island, and I'm finally in like about 4 foot, I'm guessing, and all I can guess is I'm sitting here, I'm looking out at the horizon. When I go into the trough, there's no more horizon. So I'm guessing 4 foot, I don't know. And I thought to myself, those anchorages are upwind, I'm in my third reef already, margin of error is too tight. So I decided to turn around, and I came back up north along Kelvin Island, and I found this little cove that I'm anchored in right now. It's 2:30. Not sure I'm going to stay here overnight. Probably will, because I'm watching the wind and it doesn't seem to be letting go. I'm watching the trees and they keep swaying. Darker clouds are coming in. I have no idea. So I'm probably going to stay here the night and then continue on. Wow. The boat did fantastic. I couldn't believe it. It was all the way over, water coming in, and then she popped right back up. Checked all of my compartments. Every one of them is completely dry. I haven't checked this one down here where my beer is. That can get wet if it has to. So I've got Armstrong hatches on all of my main hatches, and every single one of them held. They were dry as a bone inside. My dry suit, I had on my PFD, I had on my dry suit, which is something I always have on if I'm out on the water. And I was warm, I was dry. When I got here, I took off the dry suit, my socks a little bit moist, that's it. So, all in all, everything came out okay.